Hi, grade 9. Now we're going to practice some examples for the zero exponent. So I hope that we didn't forget that any number to the power of 0 equal to 1. So when you see something like that, be careful. The 0 is the exponent of the y, not the exponent of 5y. So in this case, don't forget that 5, you leave it as it is, times y to the power of 0 equal 1. That means 5. Next one, you see that everything, a plus b, this is a base. This is my base. And the exponent is 0. That means the 0 affecting anything inside the bracket. That means everything equal to 1. Next, 3 times x to the power of 0 y. Again, this 0 affect only on the x. It doesn't affect on the y or the 3. So I leave the 3 as it is. Time x to the power of 0, I replace it by 1, and y. That means 3y. Next, you see here the 0 affecting anything inside the bracket. So whatever inside the bracket, it's my base. That means 1. All of that is 1. Minus 9x to the power of 0. The 0 affect only on the x. That means I leave the 9 as it is, and I replace the x to the power of 0 by 1. Minus. Now, we need to be careful. I have a lot of stuff inside the bracket. The negative, the 9, the x, it's affected by the 0. So I don't care now about the negative. I don't care about the 9 and the x. I care about one thing, that any base to the power of 0 equal 1. Now, I try to simplify. So 1 minus 9 times 1 equal 9 minus 1. So 1 minus 9, negative 8. Negative 8 and negative 1 equal negative 9. Or there is another thing, that this positive 1 and this negative 1, they cancel each other, so I stay with negative 9. Next, again, anything inside the bracket is affected by 0. That means 4m, it's staying as it is, time 1. Over. I have 5m to the power of 0. The 0 affect only the m. That means 5 times 1. That means at the end, it's 4m over 5. Next, I see here a lot of power of 0. So you see here the bracket to the power of 0. Right away, it's 1. Plus x to the power of 0, another 1, minus y to the power of 0, that means 1, minus x to the power of 0, 1, y to the power of 0, 1, 1 times 1 equal 1. So now it's time to simplify. 1 and 1 equal 2, minus 1 minus 1, that means 0. Next, this one, it looks a little bit more complicated, but we're going to do it step by step to find the final answer. So it needs some time to take care about each step. So the 8, I will leave it as it is. I open bracket. It's saying negative m to the power of 0. You see here the 0 affecting only the m. Doesn't have any control on the negative. So I leave the negative as it is. So negative 1 n square, the whole thing to the power of 3. Open bracket, negative n to the power of 3, everything to the power of 2, over, as you can see, I'm trying to like remove anything exponent to 0. And after that, I'm going to start to work from the beginning. m to the power of 6, n to the power of 0, that means m to the power of 6 only. And I open bracket, negative 2, m to the power of negative 2, n to the power of 4, the whole thing to the power of 3. Now I can go for next step. Next step, when I see power of power, I can deal with it now. So the 8 will stay as it is. Negative 1 n squared, that means negative n squared. So all of that means negative n squared. The negative n squared to the power of 3. We said if the exponent is odd number, that means the result is going to be negative. After that, n to the power of 2 to the power of 3, that means I multiply 2 by 3 equals 6. And I finalize this one. So the 3 made the negative negative, and the 3 made the n squared n to the exponent of, or to the power of 6. Next. Now, the 2 here is even number. Since it's even number, right away the negative becomes positive, and n becomes n to the power of 6 over m to the power of 6. I open bracket. Now, I have to be careful that this 3 affect many things here. The negative, since the 3 it's odd number, therefore the negative stay negative. The 2 to the power of 3, I can say 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8, right away. After that, the m to the power of negative 2 to the power of 3, that means m to the power of negative 6 times n to the power of 4 times 3 equal 12. Now I can simplify more and more. If I take all of that into consideration, negative times positive, that means negative. 8 by itself, and after that, the n to the power of 6, n to the power of 6, there is multiplication, so I add both of them, so I reach 12 over. Now, the negative 8 by itself, so I leave it as it is, m to the power of 6 times m to the power of negative 6. That means I need to add 6 and negative 6. 6 and negative 6, it reaches 0. That means m to the power of 0, that means 1. After that, the n12, I have to, in this case, leave it as it is because there is no effect on anything. So now I multiply everything, especially in the denominator, make sure that the negative 8, we took it out. And after that, when we multiplied the m to the power of 6 times the m to the power of negative 6, it becomes m to the power of 0. Very, very important. After that, the n12 stay as it is. You see here, the numerator is the same as denominator, therefore the answer is 1. So you can imagine now how this very complicated question, at the end, when we simplified, we found that equal to 1. I hope that you understood the lesson, and thank you for your attention.